Hello, and happy Thursday. Welcome to the stream. If you are new here, I am Denise Brady. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist who practices a lot related to healing from parental wounds, healing from emotionally immature parents, narcissistic parents, borderline parents. I am here to serve you as a therapist, but with a caveat. I am a human first, girl. I ain't your therapist. I ain't the therapist. I am a therapist, okay? But I have opinions. I am a human, so learn how to separate the two, okay? But how y'all doing? Where y'all watching from? Okay. Thursday Junior has set in. Okay. Has your mind already entered that it's Friday night? Okay. And that you just pushing through until it's 5 o'clock, but it's 5 o'clock somewhere. And according to what is it, Australia, Asian countries, it's already Friday. Okay. It's already Friday. But come on in as everyone is getting notified that I'm live. Okay, some new folks. Maybe the evening time is where it's at. I see some new faces that I have not seen in the chat before. Welcome, Lee. Welcome, Jada. Okay. Have you guys been longtime subscribers? Are you new? Is this your first live? I've never done live at this time, so maybe we might see maybe the evening works. Okay, the evening might work, but you know, I have opinions, and sometimes people are like, "Oh, a therapist saying you should hit your mama." Y'all hear people hear 1 second of a 30-minute video, and all of a sudden it's this therapist is saying you should hit your mama. That is not what I said. That's not what I've been saying. But welcome to your first live, Nee. Is it Nia? Welcome. Make sure as you guys are coming in, you hit that like. Some of you are not subscribers, so come on in, subscribe, like the video, comment, join us for a conversation. Okay? Where do we begin? This is a lot of families. The biggest difference is that they got money and they on TV. But a lot of people in the world, in the US, in the country time, in the city, going through the same thing. Okay, very relatable. Like I said in my video, some people was getting down with their mama in the house as teenagers. Some of them, it even happened when they got adults because they was already being whooped on, hit by their mama and trying to have to fight back. Hey, even having to fight you versus your mama and her boyfriend. Okay, so this ain't nothing new. The only difference is that they on TV and they got money. Okay, so is it? Oh, it's Naya. Okay, Naya. But I think this just shows you that no matter how much money you got, how long you've been on TV, you can go through the same issues, and that no one is really, I guess, protected or kept away from having a toxic family dynamic. It can happen to anybody. Oh, we got a lot of new people. Okay. But a lot of people have toxic, dysfunctional family dynamics. And watching Jackie, Shani, and I think the other dog's name is Sakari. Those are the two siblings we hear from the most. We don't even, I forget Dougie Jr. exists, to be honest with you, because you don't hear nothing from him. Okay. But you see the girls often either going at each other, going at their mama. You see the whole like triangulation of their relationship. Would you even call it a relationship at this point? Oh, thank you. Thank you. First live. A lot of new people in here. Okay. Now that Kiki Palmer video has a lot of unpopular opinions. Okay. Hopefully you do come back after. Oh, thank you. But yeah, I think that a lot of people can relate to the whole Jackie Christie thing, whether you are Shani, whether you are Jackie, whether you are the Doug in the family, the one who you don't hear from, you might be the peacekeeper between your daughters and your wife. All right. But there's a lot of people. Now, for the longest time, I have watched Basketball Wives on and off, seen the things play out on social media. I really do think that Jackie has some mental health issues, but I think that Shani and her daughters do too. And I'm not sure if it's that, looking at it from the outside and we only see like edits. We don't know what really happens between closed doors. There are parts of me that's like, Shani seems like she's very upset with her mother. Could be because her mom has always put so much love, energy, and attention into Doug and trying to get married every year, travel, do all those things. There's another side of it that makes me wonder if Shani has been spoiled her whole life and she's used to getting everything that she wants. And right now she may not be. There's another part of me that wonders if she won this show to try and expose her mom. So, and there's another part of me that wonders if she has felt invisible her whole life, and this is her way of getting attention. Okay, to go on the show and maybe have my mom really see me, but then when she didn't see me, I lashed out. I'm not sure if it's that. Um, I'm also not sure if it could also be what was my other thought? I need to turn off my emails, my work emails. Let me just close the windows out right now because I'm not on the clock no more. Um, oh, that she might feel invisible, or it could have been a whole a vengeance plot. It could have been vengeance, but I think Naya, is it Naya? Did I say that wrong? I don't want to mess up your name. Yeah, Naya. Um, I don't know if I see him as the invisible child in this kind of dynamic. I kind of see that in some ways. I wonder if Takari is the invisible child. But yeah, the roles can very much shift. And since I'm not Jackie's psychiatrist, I'm not her therapist, I can't really diagnose her per se, but I do see some traits of BPD. Not quite I don't think I really see traits of narcissism in the mother, but possibly in Shani. Oftentimes, children who are raised with a lot of complex PTSD grow up to developing some type of personality disorder. Oftentimes, I feel like there's a dynamic between all that trauma, that complex PTSD, turning into a person having some borderline traits. Um, I didn't watch this season. I only saw this whole thing with Shani and her mom, but I've watched other seasons where I believe at one point, wasn't Takari on the show at one point too? But Shani has popped up here and there throughout the seasons. Yeah. The key thing that they both have in common is that they both want validation. They both want validation. They both want to be seen. And I think now Takari standing up for her mother in this situation, see me, love me. See, I'm protecting you. I'm standing up for you. Can I get your love now? And once again, it's going to put the sisters against one another. Oh, you online saying you stand up for our mama. You forget all the things she did to us. You supposed to be my sister. So that also is going to create more drama. But yeah, I think it's a lot of everything. Fame, money. As a child, I'm guessing her mom was probably on trips, traveling with their dad with basketball. And I think another layer of this is colorism between, Shani and her other sister. At times, it kind of feels like since we see so much of Shani, that Shani is the golden child and Takari isn't. Takari to me is more the invisible one, wanting to be heard, wanting to be seen. And a lot of people can relate to that. Just wanting to be seen by their parents. The parents can throw money, access, trips, cars, all the tangible things, but oftentimes kids grow up and just want to be seen. Just spend time with me, hug me, listen to me. All those things that you don't need money for. But parents focus so much on the money aspect. Oh, you had Jordans, you was going on trips, you was on yachts. But I'm like, yeah, that stuff was cool, but deep down inside, all I needed was a hug. But parents forget that. Parents really forget. I really don't know why this show is still on, to be honest. I think Jackie is the only one associated really in a marriage with basketball. Everybody else, Ming Lee, been trying to get on a reality show for a minute. She a Real Housewives of Atlanta reject, and I guess VH1 picked her up. Yeah, I think that people within the household in the dynamic don't really know what their assigned role is. It's not until you get into therapy and you learn about it, or you just like start reading books or paying attention to different things and learn about family systems, family dynamics, that people might start to realize um, their assigned roles. Because I think that birth order, assigned roles really do, when you really think about it, when you're in it, you don't know. You don't know you're the mascot, the lost one. Okay. You don't know all those things, the golden child. You might feel like possibly, but it's not until you get out of that system and you have a viewpoint looking over that you start to see some things. Okay. Yeah, they really want validation. And no, a comment came up of someone was saying, how come there's no focus on Doug being a bad parent or him standing up? Do you guys think he should come on and say something? He's never really said anything. He's never said anything. Good question, Jada. I think you are providing for a child while raising them, but what are you providing? Is it what you think your child needs? Do you ask your child what they need from you? Is it what you saw growing up that you are providing your child? And then another layer to it also is, are you parenting out of breaking generational cycles, which is good, but at the same time, sometimes we parent out of giving our kids the things that we didn't have, nourishing them, that sometimes that blinds us. And we give too much because we want them to have what we didn't have. Mm. Well, you think that he's not confrontational? He seems like that. Maybe he just know how Jackie is, and in his mind, it's like, ain't nothing I can do or say can change how she acts. Maybe he's more passive. Did y'all watch this season? Was he really on there while the season was going? I feel like he was on there when they would get married every year. I saw a couple of seasons where they were getting married, but um he seemed very passive to me. And so I wonder if it's like a dominating parent with a passive parent. Like, how does that really How does that really work in a household? Who has real control? Ah, divine order. Of course, you come with it every time. Make sure y'all hit that like on the video. Okay. Y'all like the video, please. But it's true. We are conditioned, not taught. I always say that. We are conditioned that all the drama, all the mess, you zip it up when you walk out that door. And holding on to family secrets is a burden, is also trauma. Not letting anybody in. And then you grow up wondering why it's hard for you to ask for help, why it's hard for you to let people in because you were conditioned to not do that. You were conditioned to hold everything inside. So now as an adult, it is hard for you to release that, to unlearn that control, that manipulation, that conditioning. Ask yourself, is it hard for you to ask for help? Is it hard for you to let people in? Where did that come from? Where did it start? It started from childhood. It started from childhood. Am I preaching? Am I preaching? Am I preaching? Let me know. Put some stars in the chat if I'm preaching tonight. But, does it ever get to a point where you need to lay hands on somebody? And can you come back from this? Is it, I am not condoning violence. I'm just asking an open-ended question. Has it ever felt like, or have you known other people where it got to the point where talking, distance, going no contact was not enough? Was not enough. You should recognize when you just don't need to be around the person. And don't put yourself in a position in the fire when you know your emotions are too high, you're not in a good place with your parent, and you know you can't control what could possibly happen. Recognize your triggers. Now, somebody on TikTok said, and this pissed me off because they said, let me read the comment because people be pissing me off. Okay. Sometimes you just gotta be blocking people. Someone said, I'm a licensed clinical social worker, and this is not a good assessment of things. Chantel seems entitled, easily manipulated, and thirsty for attention. Please don't make excuses for grown women who know right from wrong. She needs to take accountability. This is not a trauma wound. This is untreated mental health on both ends. Call a spade a spade. A person who is truly traumatized avoids triggers like the plague. They don't run directly into burning buildings on national TV. Okay. A person who is truly traumatized avoids triggers like the plague. Okay. Now, if that was true, we would all be healed, right? Right? I won't be booked and busy, right? Okay. If everybody just avoid their triggers like the plague, right? Because you know it's so easy. I know what my triggers are. Just avoid them. Now imagine you came to a therapy session and your therapist said, "Oh, all you gotta do, baby girl, is just avoid them traumas like the plague." And y'all be telling me I'm a bad therapist. Logically, yes. Logically, people know I need to avoid my traumas. People don't often know what they are until they happen. They know something bothers them. They know something is coming up, but is it a trigger? I don't think at times people know that it's a trigger. That girl's a therapist. Who was in my comments on TikTok? She a therapist. And I think that is a difference between people who practice from a trauma-informed lens versus people who practice from I have trauma myself. Yeah. And yeah, it does. It does look differently in everybody. Some people, yes, they know what their traumas are and they can avoid them, but not everyone is there. And another layer of this, sometimes your traumas are the people you live with. And sometimes you ain't got an option to avoid them. I ain't got nowhere to go. Life is expensive. I can't afford to pay rent. I got laid off. Unfortunately, I have to live with my mother and my father. Okay? It's either that or go downtown and live in a shelter. And for some people, that's like, okay, I'd rather live in a shelter. Other people's like, I just gotta do what I gotta do to get through these last couple of classes, to get my degree, so I find a job, so that my kids won't be on the streets. So when people say you should people who what did she say? People who know they triggers avoid them like the plague. That is dense thinking. That to me is privilege because not everybody is in a situation where they can do that. Most of my clients, not most, I should say most, but a lot of them live with their parents. They live with family members. And for different reasons, they are stuck there. And those parents are triggers. So it's not that easy to just say, oh, people need to avoid their triggers like the plague if they know what they are. Knock it off, y'all, because it's not that easy. It is not that easy, okay? If you have really gone through the BS, you know it ain't that easy. Okay? It ain't that easy. You notice that most of you have report on this extreme stance that they're mostly in favor of Jackie. I think I heard that also because I think they said that Chantel had turned off her comments. But I also think that there's like an old school way of thinking that no matter what, you are supposed to respect your parents. No matter what they've done to you, said to you, put you through. There's just a layer of you never get to the point where you hit them. You never get to the point where you just disrespect them online. There is still a lot of I feel like pressure and societal pressure to respect your parents no matter what. And I think for different people, respect looks different. And does disrespect look like for some people to share my story online? Um, if I want to live in my truth, does that mean I'm a disrespectful child? It's something also. But how did we go from here in this photo to where we are today? How did we get here? Oh, you watched my Braxton's? Man, I can't wait for that show to come back. Ugh, so much just rich family material. I can't wait. It should come back probably next month, at the end of next month, probably. Yeah. And maybe for Chantel, her family is a trigger, but because of different things, like it's not easy to go no contact. Maybe that's not what she wants to do. Maybe she's financially tied to her family. Um, but yeah, sometimes your family is your trigger. And so can you just avoid them like the plague? Not for everybody. Not for everybody. And we don't talk enough about, when your family is your trigger. Yeah, divine. Respect to what extent? You know? What extent do I show respect when I've been hurt over and over again? It's disrespect, like I said. If I want to get online and share my story about healing from parental trauma, would it be seen as disrespectful to my mother who might follow me on social media? And then it's like, is it fair to me to not share my story because it might hurt my family? So then it's like, damn, what do I do? You want to share your story, but your family follow you. Do you not share because it's disrespectful and it can hurt family? Or do you share because it can help you heal and probably help others relate to and see I'm not the only one who's gone through this either? Now I know some more of y'all watching this, so y'all can come into the chat. Don't be scared. I won't if you don't want me to put your comment up here, I won't put your comment. Just let me know. Mm. But in this situation, do you feel like Chantel was provoked? I feel like she went up there knowing she wasn't in the best place with her mother, so she probably should not have even gone to her room. And now the other side of this is that I've heard people say that it was fake, it was for a scene. I just don't think that this was fake. I just don't. What do you mean by this? Elaborate for me. But we often grow up, or you feel like it was set up by production? Probably. Production being in her ear, castmates being in her ear. Yeah, it was a setup by Todd. It was a setup by Todd. Um, Now the other layer of this though is what was I about to say? All these notifications on my phone. Oh, we grew up watching The Perfect Family on TV, Cosby's, Family Matters, Parker's, Moesha. And so you grow up with this idealized version of family that when you don't have that, what's wrong with me? Damn, Moesha and her mama, they always get along. Family Matters, the auntie, all the women are positive. But what happens when you don't grow up in that? How does that like make you feel? How does that reflect back on how you show up in the world wondering like, is there something wrong with me because I didn't have Alicia's life? Because we didn't have that bestie relationship like on the Parkers? Those are things I feel like people that we need to talk more about. I would love to maybe do a video about how, those 90s shows, 90s sitcoms kind of F people up. because you grow up thinking I should have that. Why don't I have those friendships? Why isn't my life, even though it's not 90s, why is my life not girlfriends? It's good examples of female relationships, but I think the dark side of that is that people start to question how come I didn't have that. But this picture here shows what they have put out to the world before the show. But this is not what was real. But that's good TV for producers. That's what they think. It's good TV. Okay, it's good TV. Looks like Chantel not even in this photo. Oh, here she is. Well, oh, so was Dougie maybe not born yet? Maybe Dougie wasn't born. Have you guys seen Chantel's statement? What do you guys think about her statement? Yeah, no family is perfect. I'll start by saying if you've ever dealt with a toxic mother, then you truly have, if you have not, I did the same thing in my video. If you've never dealt with a toxic mother, then you truly have no idea what it feels like. As painful as it's been to watch these moments of my life play out on TV, I know my younger self is proud of the woman who finally stood up. Mm, mm. Is this standing up? Is this standing up? Laying hands. Are there better ways of standing up? And, another thing is, what does it look like to stand up to your parents? I think there's a difference between communities of color standing up to your parents and other communities standing up to your parents. Do we ever feel like we are allowed to stand up to our parents? Or are you always seen as a child? In your own relationships, have you ever felt the need like to stand up for yourself, and what does that look like? Mm. The pressure, the pressure. Were you born into I just need something to love me, and that something will be a baby? Were you the child that your parents thought would fix everything? Were you the baby that came after numerous miscarriages? Were you the child that's supposed to blend our family? All those things come with being the golden child. Feeling like you always have to live up to the pressures of what other people see you as. I feel like the golden child never really has their own identity. Their identity is based off of what other people want and need from them. But what does that look like in action? I think logically we know that, but in action, what does that look like? The truth is, this dynamic isn't rare. It happens in more families than we like to admit. Narcissism, jealousy, lies, lack of accountability, gaslighting, abuse, hiding assault, etc. Which lets me know, like I said, this was not the first time this has happened. We're just taught to keep it in house and suffer in silence. I choose to break the cycle. Now, a lot of what she's saying is true, but do you break the cycle by hitting your mama? You know, is that truly breaking the cycle? Or is that releasing your frustration, your anger, and standing up for yourself physically by letting loose? And I really thought she figured her mom probably wouldn't. Well, I shouldn't say that because looking at her statement, this is not the first time this has happened. I think it's the first time publicly it's happened. Mm, yep, very true. It's hard, I feel like, in Black families to erase the child part. Like you can be 45 and you still a child. You got your own kids now, but your mama, your parents, your aunties still see you as that little girl. I don't feel like in this moment that is what's happening. Like I don't think right now she's pitting them against one another. I think Chantel chose to take it publicly one step further than what was necessary, which to me opened up a can of worms. And I think, like we said earlier, a lot of it was provoked by production, her own hurt, castmates, people who are not invested in you as a person and how this could all like unravel your life and have a domino effect, but more it's good TV. But how will this affect me once I'm out of here? Once the season is over? Once the check clears? Okay? Stop listening to people who are not invested in you as people and only have something to gain from you. Let me continue reading. When you witness a masterclass in narcissism, someone lighting the fire behind the scenes and walking away so you don't look like the arsonist. Hmm. Throwing out that narcissism word, huh? I know it really happened on and off camera, all season long. So no, the internet cannot bully me into submission. Y'all know the TV character, I know the mama. Which I have to agree, we do know the TV character. But we also know the TV character in Chanel too, Chantel. The only people who know who they really are the individuals themselves. And maybe some people behind the camera probably see the real sides. But I don't know. Like since we don't know everything, I don't know what fire was lit to make her go up there. Um, Yeah, I think there's just so many different layers to this whole situation. Where was I at? She touched my arm. I pushed her off me. She swung, plain and simple. It's unfortunate things played out this way, and I wish it never happened. But if you knew our history, then you know this was a long time coming. Mm. Was it? Does it have to get to this point, y'all? Did this have to be the story? Did it? I really don't think it needed to be the story. I really don't. I think there could have been things put into place so that we did not get here. But if you want something to happen and if for it to get to a certain place, your actions, you manifesting will take you there. Okay? It will take you there. You want me to reread the text? Which part? She touched my arm. I pushed her off me. She swung. Plain and simple. It's unfortunate things played out this way, and I wish it never happened. But if you knew our history, then you'd know this was a long time coming. I may not be proud of my choices this season, but I'm also not ashamed. This is my real life, and I doubt anyone judging me lives a perfect one. She's staying on business. I see the hate mail, I see the judgment, but I also see all the messages that say if I've dealt with this too, this reminds me so much of my situation. And that's a key thing is that a lot of people can relate to what she's saying. Mm, mm. Yeah, I think she went to this season with a vengeful heart. Yeah. Hurt people hurt people. Prime example right here. Hurt people hurt people. Yeah, hurt people hurt people. Your unresolved trauma walking into the lion's den with a TV show. All these different personalities and people who don't already like your mama, probably whispering, saying stuff in your ear that's only gonna perpetuate the wound and the hurt you already have, amping you up. Now, she also talks about getting threats online. I think people take it way too far, and that's not necessary. She says, I've always been misunderstood, and this chapter of my life is no different. But I will answer to God, not imperfect strangers who've never walked a step in my shoes. I will keep my head up and my peace and focus as I continue to grow as a mother, a wife, and a woman. Ooh. What are you guys' thoughts on this whole debacle? Can you come back? Can a mother daughter come back from this type of situation? Is therapy the answer? Is distance the answer? Sometimes it's just disappearing for a little bit off TV, off of TV, y'all, into healing silence and not in front of the world. We are so, I think, focused on healing that people feel like they have to heal out loud when you don't. You can heal in silence. You can heal off social media on your own terms. Not everybody needs to see it, feel it, or believe it. Work on yourself without needing the validation that you are healing. See it for yourself, feel it for yourself. You don't have to prove to anybody that you're healing, not even yourself. But I think there's just like this, I don't know, like thing now about people going on podcasts instead of therapy sessions. Mm. But do you guys think that the whole healing movement is starting to get kind of out of control? People go on these platforms and they talk about their healing journey with someone who's not professional, who's not licensed, and then the audience who are going through their own thing that can trigger things in them. And then, whew, what does it bring up for you? Oh, hey, Reese, girl. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Oh, thank you so much, Reese. Thank you. I try and bring like healing, light, and realness over here. I've been through my own healing journey. I've had my own, relationship with having a parent who I believe has some borderline traits, some narcissistic traits, and I've been able to heal from that. Um, so I just try and bring light, love, and help people see that you can heal from, emotionally immature parents and, going through so much, experiencing so much that you can heal from it. But yeah, I'm a therapist who's gone through, um, a lot of things that I talk about. I'm not just making it up. I'm not just like, oh, I read in the book somewhere. Girl, it's my life. It's my life just like it's yours. Okay. But you got to focus on your own healing and what that looks like. You really have to focus on that. Even when it comes to sharing my own story, I go back and forth about wanting to share it, but not be disrespectful, wanting to shed light, but what does that look like? You know, knowing that at least on TikTok, my mom was following me on TikTok. So knowing that my truth can hurt somebody else is something I battle with all the time. That's why I sprinkle little bits of my own healing journey in there, but my full story I've never told publicly. Thank you, Divine. Thank you, Reese, for that. Super. Reese is always coming through on the lives. Your presence is greatly appreciated. Thank you guys for loving my channel. Thank you guys. But yeah, well, what does it look like to share your truth when the people you are healing from are watching you? Does it mean that because people are from your family following you on social media can possibly be hurt by the things you want to share? Does that mean that if are a person healing out loud and healing on social media, like I think I kind of am, um, doesn't mean that you just don't share that part. Do you share bits and pieces? Oh, thank you. Thank you guys for the love today. But yeah, I feel like over the last couple of months, I've been slowly kind of sharing my own kind of experience here and there through my lives. Um, but yeah, I'm a person who's healing from having a parent who I believe has borderline personality disorder. And how I've gone no contact off and on for my entire adult life, and how it becomes challenging once you have children, um, and your children attached to the person. But then my kids have started to see some of the things that have pushed me away, and in return, unfortunately, um, it has also pushed my kids away from wanting a relationship with her. Hey, Gia. But yeah, that's a little bit of my story. I got a lot of things I've been through that I have overcome. Maybe someday I'll share them here and there. Y'all get a little bit of sprinkles, a little bit of sprinkles here. Oh, yeah, so many different things. Like, I oftentimes I look around like, damn, like the shit I've been through, I should be in a crack house, not this mini mansion. Not this mini mansion. I should be somewhere smoking crack. Okay. But yeah, I have a parent who has borderline personality disorder, and then my biological father was addicted to crack cocaine. So he died in my early 20s from a crack cocaine addiction, an overdose. So yeah, I've been through some things. I've been through a lot of therapy, off and on. I go for a little bit, work on some things. I feel better about those things. Then kind of fly out the nest and be on my own. Then realize there's some things I want to work on. I go back. I think therapy can be seasonal. It doesn't have to always be you go consistently for years and years. Sometimes you work on what you need in that season, you get it, you hold on to it, and then you live a little bit. You live a little bit. See, you've been picking up on that, Reese. Yeah, you've been picking up on that. The shorts have been getting a little bit more personal lately. I feel like it's time. I feel like me moving away, deciding to move away, and really, I think there was a situation that I went through before I moved where I really tried for like the last time because I knew I was moving. I'm like, I'm going to try this last time to really have a conversation and really talk about things because you never know. Like I can move away and I won't be as close and anything could happen. But once again, the borderline just shows the borderline. I'm like, this is why I don't try. This is why. Another reminder of why I don't try. And I felt like you have done everything. And still, why do you keep walking into the fire? Why do you do this to yourself? And I realized in that moment, I'm done. I am done. I am done with trying. I have done everything. And I started to feel like, am I a fucking olive tree? I keep giving olive branches and olive branches. I am not an olive branch tree. I am not. I'm a human being. So I had to decide it just wasn't worth my time anymore. Are you guys enjoying the new shorts? I want to switch it up a little bit, try some new things, and I feel like I'm enjoying it. I don't know, this space has just like given me like a second wind or something. Like being away and just it being so quiet where I live. I don't live in the city anymore. I live like in the suburbs. Nothing really around me but houses. It really just like I don't know. It just did something for me. Yes, it so is. It so is. No. That's why I'm like, until you have kind of been in the shits with a parent who has a personality disorder, you really can't comment on it. You don't know until you've been through it. Especially as an adult trying to navigate it. It's different as a child, you really don't have a voice. But as an adult, it's a special kind of journey. Maybe you came in like right at the time. Yeah, it is something about you because I swear I'm like, okay, we're talking about things, but it might be time for me to clock out and just enjoy the rest of my evening. And then Reese came on, and then Gia came on. I'm like, my crew is here. My crew is here. And it's just like, I just felt something like, let me just share a little bit of my own story because the people who are really here must really fuck with me. And if you get to this part of the live, because not everybody's gonna watch the rewind all the way to here. So the people who are really here right now, y'all gonna get the real journey, the real healing experience of my own stuff that people who are not gonna watch the whole thing are gonna hear. So thank you guys. Thank you. Mhm. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Reese. Yeah, being a adult child trying to heal from and still have a relationship with a parent who has a personality disorder, or just like navigate that, because the world tells you no matter what, that's your mama. No matter what, that's your mama. Have respect. See her as human. She's been through trauma, and that's why she acts like that. It's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. That can be true, but at the same time, you got to work on your stuff. And the thing about my mom is that she has been in therapy, and the shit ain't working. The shit ain't working. Her meds ain't working. The therapy ain't working. Her husband all the time tell me the shit ain't working. I'm like, sorry, bro, that's your problem. You you got the you fell for the okey doke. She ain't going nowhere till you die. Okay? She ain't going nowhere till your ass die. Oh, see, this is what I try and create over here that I've never been able to create on TikTok, never been able to create on Instagram. Real ass community. YouTube is the real place where you can really create a community if that's what you want to foster. And I feel like I've been able to do that over here. Mm-hmm. Y'all put some hearts in the chat for Gia. Okay, show her some love tonight. Put some hugs in the chat. Show her some love. Because it takes a lot to be able to share and open up your own experience. You know, it's not easy talking about, you know, healing from parental wounds, parents having personality disorders. Um, it's really not talked about enough. And, you know, sharing my own story, I want people to feel like you're not alone. It's not easy. Okay. Like I've said, I've gone no contact several times and decided, oh, you know, I'm healed. I'm feeling good. Let me call my mama. And then it's like, oh, girl. Yeah, she the same. Okay. Oh, I'm in therapy now. Oh, okay, mom, you're in therapy. And for a while, it was like, okay, I could the therapy is working. I could see it. And then it's like, she must have stopped going to therapy. And then she says, yeah, I stopped going to therapy. Clock that shit. I knew it. Knew you had stopped. Okay, I knew you had stopped. But but yeah, it's a special kind of journey to be a person. I feel like the eldest daughter, or daughter, healing from um borderline parents, narcissistic parents. It's really a different breed when you are the adult, the eldest adult, and looking at how much you were parentified and how now as an adult you are trying to unlearn the bullshit and be in a healthy relationship, and how your own trauma sometimes can alienate you from having healthy relationships. Oh man, I can say so much as a wife that I have learned about myself from just like, is it something he is really doing, or is it my trauma? And most of the time, it has been my trauma, not something that he has actually been doing. And so you have to learn how to take a step back of, you doing too much, girl. You doing too much. And you got to take a step back. You're not a bad wife. You're not a bad person. You just have to recognize when you're doing too much and how your trauma is starting to show your skirt. And are you going to continue to let your trauma be a third in your relationship? The same shit I say to y'all, I have to say to myself sometimes. And another thing over here is that I'm a therapist, but I'm a human also. I'm not perfect. I don't try and be perfect. I am healing. I am learning about myself as I get closer to 40. I learn what I need, what I don't need. and how all of that just really helps me in my healing journey, but helps me show up as a better human and a better therapist. A better therapist, you know? But man, I've been talking. Maybe too much. Y'all got me comfortable tonight. But yeah, I think the whole, Jackie Christie thing has just brought up mother-daughter relationships. They're not easy, you know? A lot of people are going through the same thing. And I'm sure having all this stuff be in the news and the media has really triggered probably people also. Because it reminds you of the things that you're currently going through with your own parent, what you have been through. Maybe it makes you feel like, oh, it's not just me. It happens to people with money too. It brings up a lot of different conversations, a lot of nuance. And I hope we can continue to have conversations and talk about, mother-daughter relationships and how they're not what you see on Moesha, the Parkers, Family Matters, the Cosbys. Okay. For some people, the Cosby Show was an outlet, an escape from their own family. And, Malcolm dying this week was for some people like watching a brother die because I was like your surrogate family. So, oh, damn, I didn't miss all these damn comments. I'm just talking. Where we at? I'm like, y'all not, I'm just talking. Y'all not commented. I guess I just missed them all. Um, oh, I think I've seen some of these. Where did I miss? Oh, you guys put some hearts in the chat for Gia. See, I just knew, Gia. I knew. I'm very intuitive, okay? I just knew. Okay. I just knew you needed some love tonight. Yes, y'all, give her some love. Give her lots of love. I hope people really get to this part of the live when they rewatch it because this is what a lot of people need. So I hope they actually get to this part when they rewatch it. See, it's real community over here. Oh, oh, Gia, you're the oldest child as well. Okay, yeah. Always showing up here and probably everywhere else in your life. That oldest child syndrome. Yep. Sometimes my dynamic with my partner is my own stuff showing up. And I think people get caught up in the behaviors of their relationship. He didn't wash the dishes, he forgot this. But what is the deeper thing coming out in that situation? Yes, I'm human, y'all. I'm human. I thought I was talking too much. Oh, you guys really liked it. Yeah, them TV shows. I really would like to do some kind of deep dive. I have to put this together, but I would love to do a deep dive of how 90s sitcoms, I don't want to say ruined us, that's not the right word, but I gotta find the language. But I really would like to do a deep dive of how they have mentally kind of, gaslit us. I'm not sure what the right wording is. I've always been very intuitive. It works very well in my profession. Yeah, see? I knew it from the beginning. And people were like, "You're wrong. You don't know what you're talking about. What kind of therapist are you?" I be seeing shit. Like I people read. Okay. I love to read people body language. And I just knew from the beginning that she just was not a good person. A lot of eldest daughters in the chat tonight. Wow. Yes, feel seen. Yes, I am the eldest daughter. I am the eldest daughter, yes. I am the eldest parentified child. I do, and people like I feel like at times I'm ahead of the curve with a lot of things, and people are just so stuck on you can't be right. Like earlier, somebody was telling me when I said that Amaya and Hutta are very much the same. Someone was in the comments saying, "Oh, now for sure I can't trust your judgment as a therapist." I'm like, they very much are the same. That's why they're besties. They just show it differently, but they're like the same person. Oh, you didn't watch it. Oh, hey girl. Welcome to the live. I see I didn't have to raise my brother, I had to raise myself. And me and my brother are like, I don't want to say we're estranged, but we don't talk at all. Yeah. Yeah, growing up having to be like hyper independent as an adult, it's great, but it's not great for your relationships because you don't know how to take off the responsibility. I feel like there have been just different times in my life where I just feel like I am so fucking tired of being the responsible one. Making sure all the bills are paid on time, making sure me and my friends still stay together, that we spend time and make time for one another, that I'm the one who plans out different events. Like it just kind of weighs on you that you grew up as a child. You were always an adult and now you're a real adult. Okay. And since you've been an adult since you were probably 9 years old, it's just like, oh, I'm tired of being a responsible one. What would it look like to just like run amok? A lot of people live like that. And just like don't pay their bills on time. Don't make sure the friend group is still together. Don't plan the trips. Like you just show up. Got bill collectors. You hide in your car because the repo man looking for you. You know, you ain't the planner of the group. Let me know if I'm speaking to y'all because um what was the comment? Yes. See, they are the same. They're the same, but people don't want to see it. Oh, Moniece. Moniece. Moniece is another person that's a mother with a personality disorder. I feel like, I've watched Moniece for a long time, and I think Moniece is somebody also with borderline personality disorder. Watching the dynamic between her and her mother when I did used to watch Love and Hip Hop, I'm like, ooh, oh, I see the personality disorders in both these women fighting one another. Moniece is a piece of work. Yes, we repping tonight. We are repping tonight. I think my mom was 20 when she had me. What are you talking about, Reese? Yeah. Well, Lisa's another one of those characters that has a lot of issues. Yeah, that's something too that everyone in eldest daughters of very young moms. But yeah, Moniece has a lot of issues, a lot of her own trauma. And I think she has a mother who's emotionally unavailable. Um, hmm, y'all are being very open in the chat tonight. And this was just a random live. I was meeting with a client earlier today. I'm like, I think I'm gonna go live tonight. Just for a little bit. Tapping with my crew. I think this might be like my third live this week. But Gia needed it, so I'm glad I went live for Gia. I'm hoping that this gives you a little bit of just like a little bit of a hug that you probably need. We're all giving you a hug. Oh, thank you. Oh, yeah, I've seen man, Landry and her mama are fighting for their lives with these fans. But yeah, I just wanted to hop on and chat with you guys for a little bit. Hopefully everyone got something from the live tonight. What you were looking for. Maybe you got something you didn't know you were really needing. But I hope you guys spend some time with yourselves. You know, give yourself some grace. Reese, give yourself some grace. It's okay to slow down. It's okay to be healing with the ing. Have those boundaries. Protect yourself. Protect your peace. You know, protect your peace. Yeah, I saw the Ace diss track. Ace is very smart. Like I've been saying, he is a marketing genius. He's a marketing genius. Okay. But I really enjoyed the live tonight. I'm gonna hop off and relax for the rest of this evening. We might go live over the weekend. I don't know, y'all. I'm kind of gonna be a lot out of town a lot next week. So um yeah, we'll do some things, okay? But tap in, like the live. Thank you guys for joining me. Thank you for your transparency. We're all healing. We are all healing. You can heal, okay? And have the rest of your evening. Peace, love, and just allow yourself to exist, okay? Just meet yourself where you are and be okay with where you are, all right? Bye, everybody. Bye. Everybody enjoy their night. Good night, everybody.